Why chosen ones are lonely or broken. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to speak to you today about something that weighs heavy on the hearts of many. There are those among us who feel set apart, different, called to something greater. But along with that calling comes a deep sense of loneliness, a burden of brokenness. There are those in this world who walk a different path. They feel a deep calling within them, a pull towards something greater, something beyond the ordinary. But with that calling often comes a heavy price, loneliness. A chosen one is set apart, and the world does not always understand those who are different. They see life through a lens others do not. They feel burdens others do not carry. They have a fire inside them that refuses to be extinguished. And because of that, they often find themselves standing alone. From the beginning of time, those with a divine purpose have faced rejection. The world embraces what it understands and pushes away what it does not. It clings to the familiar, to what fits neatly into its way of thinking. But a chosen one does not fit into this mold. They are called to stand out, to walk a road that few dare to travel. Their dreams are too big, their vision too vast, their hearts too set on something higher. And so they become outsiders, misunderstood by those around them. Perhaps you have felt this. Perhaps you have wondered why, despite your best efforts to belong, you always seem to walk alone. Why the very people you long to help, the ones you care for most, do not always see you for who you truly are. Why the ones who should stand with you sometimes turn away instead. If that is you, know this: you are not alone in your loneliness. Every person who has ever been called to something great has walked this road before you. There will be times when it seems that no one understands you. Times when you feel like a stranger in your own home, in your own community. Times when you wonder if you are the problem, if something is wrong with you. But hear me, there is nothing wrong with you. The world was never meant to embrace those who are called to change it. The weight you carry, the struggles you face are not signs of weakness. They are signs that you are walking in your purpose. Look at history, at the lives of those who shook the world. They were not always surrounded by support. They were often ridiculed, cast out, left to walk alone. But what set them apart was not their ability to fit in. It was their willingness to keep going despite the loneliness. They knew that the road would be difficult, but they also knew that their calling was worth it, and so they pressed on. You may feel isolated now. You may feel that no one sees the battles you fight in silence, but do not mistake solitude for abandonment. Sometimes the loneliness is part of the preparation. Sometimes you must walk through the wilderness before you reach the promise. Sometimes you must stand alone so that when the time comes, you will be ready for what has been prepared for you. The world may not understand you, but that does not mean you do not have a place in it. Your calling is not dependent on the approval of others. Your worth is not measured by how many people stand by your side. You were set apart for a reason, and though the road may be lonely at times, it is leading you to something far greater than you can imagine. So do not be discouraged. Do not let the loneliness make you doubt your purpose. Keep walking, keep believing, keep trusting. One day you will look back and see that every step, every tear, every moment of solitude was shaping you into the person you were meant to be. You are not alone. You are simply being prepared. Stay strong, for your time is coming. There is a refining process for those who are chosen, a journey that is not easy but is necessary. The weight of your calling is heavy, and the trials you face are not random. They are shaping you, molding you, preparing you for something greater. But in the moment of pain, it is easy to ask, why? Why must the chosen one suffer? Why must the road be so difficult? Why does it seem that the more you try to follow your purpose, the more obstacles rise against you? Understand this. When something is meant to be strong, it must first be tested. Gold is purified by fire. Diamonds are formed under pressure, and great warriors are not made in times of peace, but in the heat of battle. If you are facing struggles, if you feel broken, it is not because you have been forgotten. It is because you are being prepared. You are being strengthened for the path ahead, for the purpose that awaits you. Think about those who have changed the world. They did not rise to their calling in comfort. They faced rejection, betrayal, hardships. They endured nights of loneliness, moments of despair, seasons where everything seemed to be falling apart. But it was in those moments that they found their true strength. It was in those moments that they learned to trust, to endure, to press forward despite the pain. And because they did not give up, they stepped into the purpose they were meant for. Perhaps you feel like everything around you is breaking. Perhaps you have faced loss, disappointment, or betrayal from those you trusted most. Perhaps you have cried out in frustration, wondering why your journey has been filled with so much struggle. But hear this, the breaking is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to rebuild you into something stronger than you ever imagined. There are lessons that can only be learned through hardships. Patience is forged in waiting. Faith is deepened in uncertainty, and strength is found in weakness. The struggles you are facing now are not the end of your story. They are the foundation of what is to come. Every trial is a stepping stone, every hardship a lesson, every moment of brokenness a piece of the masterpiece being formed within you. You may not see the purpose in the pain right now, but one day you will. One day you will look back and realize that every tear you cried, every battle you fought, every storm you survived was shaping you into the person you were destined to be. And when that day comes, you will understand why the fire was necessary. So do not give up. Do not let the struggles make you believe that you are too weak or too broken to continue. You are being refined, strengthened, prepared. The weight of your calling is great, but so is the purpose waiting on the other side of this struggle. Keep pressing forward. Keep trusting. One day, the pain will make sense, and you will stand in the fullness of what you were meant to be. There are moments in life when loneliness feels overwhelming, when the silence is deafening, and you wonder if anyone truly understands the weight you carry. You reach out, but the world seems distant. You speak, but few truly hear. You give, but often receive little in return. It is in these moments of solitude that doubt creeps in. Is this the path I was meant to walk? Have I been forgotten? But hear me today. Loneliness is not abandonment. Isolation is not rejection. Sometimes it is preparation. There are seasons where you must be set apart, not because you are being punished, but because you are being positioned. You are being drawn closer to the one who called you, closer to the purpose you were created for. Many people search for validation in the voices of others, seeking approval, acceptance, and belonging. But when you are chosen, your validation does not come from the world. It comes from the one who placed the calling upon your life. The loneliness you feel is not meant to break you. It is meant to focus you. It is in the moments of solitude that clarity comes. Think of those who have changed the course of history. They did not always have a crowd surrounding them. In their greatest moments of preparation, they often stood alone. Their isolation was not a curse, but a season of deep transformation. It was where they discovered who they truly were, where they learned to depend not on the approval of others, but on the conviction within their hearts. Perhaps you are in that season now. Perhaps the people you once relied on have drifted away. Perhaps the places where you once found comfort no longer feel the same. But understand this, some things can only be revealed in stillness. Some lessons can only be learned in solitude. You are not alone. You are being refined, molded, strengthened for what lies ahead. There will come a time when you will step into the fullness of your calling, and when that time comes, you will look back and realize that the loneliness was never meant to harm you. It was meant to prepare you. It was meant to draw you into a deeper understanding of your purpose, a stronger connection to the one guiding your steps. So do not despise this season. Do not let the quiet moments make you believe you have been forgotten. You are being set apart for something greater. The loneliness you feel now will one day be the reason you stand firm, unshaken, unwavering in your purpose. Keep going. You are not alone. You are simply being made ready. There will be times when you feel weary, when the weight of your calling feels too heavy to carry, when you have given everything, yet the breakthrough seems far away, when doors close, when prayers seem unanswered, when the journey feels endless. It is in these moments that many give up, convinced that the struggles are too great, that the pain is too much to bear. But hear me. This is not the time to surrender. This is the time to stand firm. Every chosen one has faced a season where the road was difficult. Every great calling has been tested. The hardships you endure are not there to stop you, but to prepare you for what lies ahead. The loneliness, the pain, the trials, they are not signs that you should quit. They are proof that you are on the verge of something greater. You must understand that perseverance is not just about enduring, it is about believing when there is no evidence to believe. It is about moving forward when nothing makes sense. It is about holding on when everything inside you wants to let go. The enemy of your purpose is discouragement. And if he can convince you that you are too broken, too tired, or too alone to continue, then he is won. But you are not defeated. You are not at the end. You are at the threshold of something greater. Many have walked this path before you. They faced storms. They endured suffering. They walked through seasons of doubt. But what set them apart was that they did not stop. They kept believing, kept trusting, kept pressing forward. And because they did, their breakthrough came. Their purpose was fulfilled. Their calling was realized. Perhaps you feel as though you have been climbing a mountain with no summit in sight. But every step you take is bringing you closer to the top. Every battle you fight is making you stronger. Every hardship you endure is shaping you into the person you were meant to be. Do not let the struggle make you forget the promise. Do not let the pain blind you to the purpose. You were not called to give up. You were called to overcome. One day you will look back and see that every tear you shed, every trial you endured, every moment you wanted to quit but didn't, was leading you here to a place of fulfillment, to a place of victory. The breakthrough will come. The reward for your endurance will be greater than the pain you suffered to get there. Keep standing. Keep believing. The purpose that has been placed within you will come to pass. Stay the course. Your time is coming.